Nintendo just announced a new Switch out of nowhere. No sign of anything, no rumors, nothing mentioned in the E3, not even Nintendo Direct announcement. It just suddenly pops out into the YouTube channel that a new OLED Switch would be released in October 8, 2021. It's just 3 more months ahead. Obviously, this news is stunning everybody like a flashbang, and I would say this is a great marketing because it created a lot of noise out there. People from all over the world is talking about it right now. But before I go into the new OLED Switch discussion with you, so I've been thinking, throughout all these years since the first release version, how many types of Switch is there right now in the market in 2021? So basically I found there is a total of 5 types of Switch that you can get right now in the market, which is Standard Version 1, Standard Version 2, Nintendo Switch Lite, Special Edition Switch, and of course, the new OLED Switch that is coming soon. So let's go into it one by one. Number 1, the very first version 1 Nintendo Switch. We're gonna call it V1. This is the very first Switch released back in 2017, but it's already stopped production for it. All the Switch that you will find in the shop right now, they were basically selling the V2 version. But you're still able to get a second-hand V1 Switch from somebody in eBay or any other used item platform out there, and the price is cheaper because it's kinda old. But if you do so, be sure to avoid yourself getting scammed and make sure you always perform COD, cash on delivery, before you buy it from somebody you don't know, because you just don't want to transfer the money to a complete stranger and expecting them to deliver as promised. They might just ditch you after getting the money, or even send you a Bible like this guy I found on YouTube. I'm really sorry to see this man, but this guy got scammed, but luckily he get his money back. But the point is, you just never know. So be careful if you're looking to buy a used item or second-hand Nintendo Switch. Number 2, the Standard Version 2. The Standard Version 2 Switch was released back in August 2019, and basically every single retailer or shop right now is selling a V2. But what are the difference that you might ask? Basically there is really nothing much of the difference. The only difference between V1 and V2 is just the battery lifespan, where V2 has an enhanced battery that could last an extra 1 to 2 hours while you're playing it in handheld mode. That's it. No other difference, because no matter on the design, the screen size, screen resolution, every single thing is still the same. The display for both V1 and V2 is still 6.2-inch screen with the resolution of 720p in handheld mode and 1080p in the dock mode. So how to tell the difference in terms of appearances? Well, the box should pretty much obvious, because the V2 box is come in the red boxes and the V1 is in white color box. But if you still worry about it, you can check the serial number to tell whether is it a V1 or a V2. And here's how. Let me show you. For V2 Switch, the serial number will start with XK, and for the version 1, it will start with XA. So basically K is for V2 and A is for V1. Number 3, the Nintendo Switch Lite, which also released back in 2019, just 1 month after they announced the V2. Switch Lite is actually the smaller, lighter and cheaper version of a Switch, but it lost the ability to switch into TV mode, because even if you slot it into the dock, it will still not project it to the TV or your monitor, because they simply remove the hardware of it. So basically, people are calling it as Nintendo cannot switch. And don't forget, the controller are now unable to detach too, and they also remove the HD rumble and motion control on it. Bummer. But the good thing is, this is actually designed to target people who always prefer on the go, meaning they more enjoy carrying their console around instead of sitting in front of a screen. People can play anywhere they like. Before bedtime, they're just laying on their bed and play. And it is really nicer to hold it upwards while you're laying down because it was made lighter and smaller. The original Switch is kind of heavy if you play handheld for long hours, especially if you're lying down. The screen size for Nintendo Switch Lite is 5.5 inch, way smaller than the original, and having the same button layout as the normal Switch except for the D-pad. You can still tune your volume at the top left corner, slot in the same game cartridge that the normal Switch does. Yes, it can play almost all of the Switch games except for Super Mario Party, Ring Fit Adventure, Just Dance, Fitness Boxing, because all these games basically required a Joy-Con motion sensor to play it. And Switch Lite just doesn't have it. You're gonna need to pair your Joy-Con to this Switch Lite in order to play those games. But you wouldn't want to play these games in such a small screen, right? Most of the people playing Nintendo Switch Lite is enjoying those solo games like Zelda Breath of the Wild, or they're even playing Mario Kart, but online with their friends, because Switch Lite was designed to carry around. Number 4, this special edition Switch. I believe this is where people might get confused when they see so many types of Switch out there when they Google it, especially for those who just wanted to get their hands on a Switch and they totally knew about it. They don't know what's happening because when they Google, they see so many types of Switch. But I can tell you that basically it's pretty much nothing different in terms of specs. It's just a nicer design Switch with a higher price tag because of those special themes. It is basically same as either version 1 or version 2 with some special paint job on the console, on the dock, and also they have a unique color Joy-Con that fit into the particular theme. For example, Animal Crossing, you will have this nice green and blue color Joy-Con, a white color dock with all this nice pattern on it. Or Pokemon version, you will have this yellow and brown Joy-Con. That is what we call Special Edition Switch. Basically just nicer color. And for your information, you cannot buy those particular Joy-Con separately. Not official at least. You can try buying from other person if you happen to find one. And to clear out your confusion, I had made a list of all the special edition Switch available and tagged them into a category of version 1 or version 2. So have a look, just so you know if you're getting a V1 or V2 if you are into buying those special edition Switch. For those latest special editions like Mario Red, Monster Hunter Rise, Fortnite version, all these will be a V2, which is the enhanced battery version of Switch. And for the older version, which is the V1, we have Diablo theme, Mario Odyssey, Super Smash Bros. And for the Switch Lite, we have a Pokemon Sword and Shield version. So basically that's the special edition Switch. You pay for a higher price for a nicer design, which honestly, it's really look nice though, especially Animal Crossing, because I myself got one of those too. So if you are really a Animal Crossing fan or big fan of Pokemon Pikachu, or big fans of Monster Hunter Rise, go get it. You won't regret it because it's really nice design. Just you have to, raise up your budget a little bit. And finally, of course, is the new OLED Switch that just announced a few days ago, and it will be released in October 8, 2021. I believe most of the shops out there right now already start taking deposit for pre-order. Let's talk about the new Switch. So basically this new Switch featuring the 7-inch OLED screen, which provides a better color feedback, but it's still 720p resolution when you play in handheld mode. And of course, still the same 1080p at TV mode. But it do have a nice wider adjustable kickstand, which gonna do a way better job than the current one because the entire back of the Switch is now split into half to act as a support, and the most important is adjustable. The old one is kind of flimsy and weak if you ask me. I didn't even use it much. And also we have an enhanced audio, which I noticed they moved the speaker from the back to the bottom. Maybe I'm seeing wrong because there's nothing much announced in terms of specs yet, so we're just gonna wait for it. And we also have a larger internal build storage, which upgrade from 32 gigabytes to 64 gigabyte. But of course, you could always purchase an SD card to store more games if you are more to digital game purchase. Otherwise, I would say it's pretty much more than enough to use, because my V1 version is still works fine with 32 gigabyte, because basically I buy most of my game is physical. And lastly, of course, the new LAN port that built inside the Switch dock, allowing us to plug in the Ethernet cable into it, is really nice to have, because it's improved the download speed much more faster. Because if you own a Switch, you would know that Switch Wi-Fi system is really kind of terrible sometimes. It just breaks down and unable to connect. I don't know what happened to it, but it just happened. So having this new LAN port inside the Switch dock might be a good idea in improving the download speed. And other than that, everything else is still the same. Basically, the battery lifespan is still same as the version 2, which officially saying would be about 4.5 to 9 hours. And everything else, the specs, the engine, the GPU, everything is still the same. So a conclusion for this new OLED Switch, it will be having a larger, nicer looking screen, which is fantastic, and a wider adjustable kickstand, which gonna be benefits more to those who really plays a Switch a lot in tabletop mode, and an enhanced audio, which is a nicer, louder speaker, we assume, and a faster internet connection with the support of a LAN port. Anyway, it's still not yet released at the moment. We shall look into it when it's finally come. So, out of the 5 categories that I just showed you, which one you prefer? Well, if you've never owned a Switch before and you are planning to get yourself one, I would suggest you to find out what is the purpose of you buying it. I mean, are you going to play it in the TV mode more with a bigger screen and play with your friends and family? If yes, you should get the V2 version, because most of the time your Switch is staying inside the dock. You won't even get to see the OLED screen, am I right? Or are you a big fan of Animal Crossing or Monster Hunter or any other special edition out there? Then you should get those versions, because if you ended up get yourself a normal version, you're gonna keep regretting it for not spending just a little bit more to get the color and design you like. Trust me, you're just gonna keep thinking on it. Or are you a person to prefer a handheld mode all the time? You don't need a monitor, you don't need a TV, you just want to look at your Switch all the time and you want to carry it all around most of the time. I would suggest you to take a Switch Lite. Or if you have budget, you should get the OLED version, because it has a bigger and nicer looking screen. And if you get an OLED version, it might someday comes in handy when you change your mind and you decided to play some games with your friends or family. You don't need to purposely buy another Switch for such an upgrade. And for those Switch owners who already have a Switch but looking to upgrade their Switch, of course you can consider the OLED version, but bear in mind, I'm telling you, it's not gonna be a $50 upgrade, because you probably never gonna get back $300 if you sell your current Switch. And don't forget, the overall size of the OLED Switch is now bigger than a normal version 2, so you're gonna have to buy a new cover for it, a new screen protector for it. So all these are actually a hidden cost that you might need to take into consideration. So be sure you do the math before you're actually looking to upgrade into the OLED Switch. Let me know in the comment down below which Nintendo Switch that you're gonna get yourself. So basically that's the end of the video today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, do consider to smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.